Hi, welcome to today's video. My name's Paul. So today I'm doing a sort of wet in wet style watercolor still life painting, just the one you can see on the screen. I'm also sort of rambling on about things like Instagram and social media and whether or not you should adapt your style of art to what is more popular, or if you should stick with what you feel is your style of art, especially when you're trying to sell paintings and you're not making much progress. So slightly controversial topics today maybe, but I hope you enjoy the video. If you do and you would like to subscribe, just hit the big red button down below, click on the bell icon beside that, let you know when I've uploaded the video. So yeah, I hope you enjoy today's video. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a still life watercolor painting. It's just some flowers in a vase, and this is just from imagination. So I'm not using any reference photos or any actual objects to paint from. And it's using a wet in wet sort of technique, which is just a fancy way of saying that the paper, the surface of the paper is wet before I put any paint onto the paper. So with these still life paintings, I often do a quick sort of rough pencil sketch. I'm not sure why, because when I do landscapes, I never do any pencil sketches, or very rarely do any pencil sketches. But something about still lifes that makes me want to do a pencil sketch first. You can see I'm spraying water onto the surface of the paper. It's like I say, it's wet in wet. The brush is wet and the paper is wet, and you can see the water actually sitting on the surface of the paper there a little bit. The paint that I'm putting on at the moment is just a sort of muddy grey green paint that was left in the palette. With hindsight, maybe not the best choice of background paint, but you live and learn, as they say. Not every painting turns out wonderful. With watercolor, it is probably, well, some people say it's probably best to use lots of sort of greys, and by greys they mean like that paint I use for the background. There's a bit of a green in it, but it's more of a greyish green. It's sort of leftover paint in the palette. It's better to use that than to use only pure pigment, pure color. And the idea is that if you use the pure color, the pure saturated pigment sparingly, it creates more interest in the final painting. If you're using very saturated colors all over, some people say it looks very amateurish, but I don't agree with that. I think it depends on your style, on your genre. Pop art, for example, I love pop art, and it uses saturated color all over. I also love Impressionism, and again, Impressionism uses lots of pure saturated colors. But some people, especially in watercolor, like to have this sort of use more grays. It's just a personal choice. We all have our own particular taste with art. Doesn't mean that certain types of art is better than others. It's different. So this sort of still life is more, it's verging on sort of abstract painting as well, rather than realism. And what I've noticed from posting these sort of paintings on Instagram, they're not very popular. I often get 0 likes or just 1 or 2 likes from it, compared to when I do sort of impressionist or semi-abstract landscapes that get slightly more. When I say slightly more, they might get 7 or 8 likes, but I think this style of art is something I enjoy doing, something I enjoy looking at, but maybe it doesn't have a broad appeal. And then I was thinking, so if you're using social media like Instagram or Facebook, whatever, and you're doing your style of art and you enjoy it and you think it's good, but when you put it onto social media, you don't get a very good response. So you're then faced with two choices or a decision to make. You can either continue doing your own style of art and, if people don't like it, then people don't like it. Or you could change and try to do something that is more popular on social media. And I was thinking, which is better? Which is the better approach? And of course, I think for me anyway, the best approach is to do what you want to do and what you enjoy creating. If you start going down the road of trying to create something that is popular with other people, it's not really your art anymore. Now obviously if you're trying to make a living selling art, it's very difficult if nobody wants to buy it, if nobody likes it. But on the other hand, if you're producing stuff that is popular just to make money, is that the right way to go? It's a difficult question, but I think it's better to sort of stay true to what you want to create and what you feel is your art. So it's one of the reasons why, so far anywhere in my floundering art career, I haven't decided to do any commissions, because I don't want to do art for other people. I prefer to do art for me, and if somebody else likes my art, that's great. But I don't want to spend all my time painting pet dogs and things like that for other people. Not that that's wrong if that's what you do. We all do our own thing. It's just not right for me. So I guess what I'm saying is sort of stick to your own thing. Do your art, not what you think other people want you to do. And also be careful with social media. Social media is good and it has a bad edge to it as well. There's been a lot of concern raised over the years about the effect that social media has on our mental health. We're getting that sort of dopamine rush every time somebody clicks the like button or starts to follow you. But it's a very addictive, that dopamine rush, and in the long term it may not be the best thing for us. So I would approach social media with some caution, maybe. Okay, so I hope this rambling wasn't too off-putting and I didn't offend too many people. But if you enjoyed the video or you find it of any use and you like to subscribe, just click the big red button down below. The bell icon beside that lets you know when I upload a video if you click on that as well.